Curtis James Jackson III was born on July 6, 1975, in Queens, New York, and raised in South Jamaica. After his mother, Sabrina, died when he was 8, he was brought up by his grandparents. In interviews and profiles, he has been frank about a rough adolescence, boxing after school, hustling, early arrests, and about deciding to redirect once music offered a way out. Those formative details matter because they explain both the urgency and the hard surface of the artist that followed. By the late 1990s, he had chosen the name 50 Cent, a metaphor for change and self-reliance, and cut an early major label debut that never saw a proper release after industry turbulence. The crucial break arrived in 2002 when Eminem and Dr. Dre, impressed by the mixtape run, brought him into a joint shady Aftermath Interscope deal that would reshape mainstream rap's center of gravity. The machinery, beats, budgets, belief, was suddenly aligned behind a new star with an undeniable backstory. The backstory got darker in May 2000, when a shooter fired 9 rounds at close range as Jackson sat in a car outside his grandmother's home. He survived wounds to his legs, arm, hand, chest, and cheek. The facial injury permanently altered the grain of his voice. The episode hardened the biography around him. Fans heard it in the cadences. Labels saw it in the headlines, and it shadowed every ascent that followed. He spent nearly 2 weeks in the hospital and rebuilt, one studio day at a time. What came next was Velocity. Released on February 6, 2003, Get Rich or Die Tryin detonated on arrival. 872,000 first-week sales, a Billboard 200 #1, and singles. In the club, 21 Questions. Pimp, that defined radio that year. It finished as 2003's best-selling album in the US, later crossing Diamond, 10 times Platinum, certification in 2025. A rare club for any genre, rarer still for a rap debut. The record established not just a sound but a template, muscular hooks, menace polished to pop. The pop culture footprint widened with The Massacre, 2005, and high-visibility feuds that kept his name in the air even when the singles cooled. Critics would later frame the second album as a commercial steamroller but an artistic plateau. Either way, by the mid-2000s, he had become both a radio constant and a reliable antagonist, an energy that sold records, tickets, and headlines. The archetype was set. 50 as protagonist, foil, analyst of his own mythology. But the most consequential move of that era wasn't a song, it was equity. Jackson struck a deal with Glasseau's Vitamin Water, Formula 50, in 2004, promoting like a proprietor. When Coca-Cola acquired Glasseau for $4.1 billion in 2007, he reportedly netted a windfall often estimated around the 9-figure mark, variously reported and debated in court and in the business press, but unquestionably transformative to his balance sheet and brand. Beyond the headline number, the real story was precedence, a rapper taking stock, not just a check, and changing how artists argued for upside. Not every headline in the next decade was celebratory. In 2015, Jackson filed for Chapter 11 reorganization amid costly litigation. In 2017, a federal judge discharged the case after he paid more than $22 million to creditors. For a figure cast as permanently bulletproof, the bankruptcy was a reminder that leverage cuts both ways. The discharge was proof that leverage, handled, can reset a balance sheet. While the charts gradually diversified around him, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and others recentering the sound, the next act of 50's career arrived on television. As co-creator and executive producer, he helped launch Power on Stars in 2014 and then grew a full Power universe, Power Book 2, Ghost, Raising Cannon, and Force, a durable, syndicate-ready ecosystem of crime drama with him as producer, narrator, talent scout, and on-screen presence. The franchise's spin-offs now total well over a dozen seasons, with finales and renewals a regular part of the TV calendar. The producer's lane expanded beyond stars. In 2023, Jackson signed a non-exclusive broadcast direct deal with Fox for multiple projects via G-Unit Film and Television, a shrewd hedge that kept him shopping concepts across platforms while his Star's universe continued to deliver. It was the vitamin water logic applied to IP. Don't just endorse a show, own a pipeline. Deadline. He never abandoned the stage. In 2023 to 24, he mounted the Final Lap tour, celebrating the Get Rich era with an arena-scale retrospective that crossed $100 million in gross receipts, over 1 million tickets across 80-plus shows worldwide, putting him in rare company among hip-hop touring earners. For an artist often described in the past tense by pop radio, the numbers argued otherwise. Catalog, properly staged, is a living business. The public record also includes lawsuits, dust-ups, and social media skirmishes, occupational hazards for a star who built part of his brand on confrontation. One recent example: a civil complaint in Los Angeles alleged he injured a radio host after hurling a malfunctioning microphone. His attorney denied any intent to harm, and the case proceeded through the courts. The point isn't to romanticize combat. It's to note that the modern rap mogul operates with legal counsel as constantly as with a tour manager. What makes Jackson's arc unusually durable is how cleanly its chapters rhyme. The ruthlessness that once governed street dealings became negotiating posture. The mixtape work ethic became a TV universe production cadence. The chip on the shoulder became a marketing plan. You can trace the sensibility from a South Jamaica boxing gym to a boardroom. Prepare like a fight, talk like a promoter, and never let the other side set your value. The vitamin water precedent showed young artists that equity or nothing doesn't have to be a slogan. It can be a line item. If you map the resumes, rapper, executive, investor, producer, you see one more pattern: redundancy. Jackson builds parallel lanes so that when one surface ice is over, radio rotations, say, another remains dry, syndication, touring, catalog anniversaries. That redundancy is why a 2003 album can still anchor a 2024 world tour, why a cable drama can splinter into 3 viable spin-offs, and why a single equity bet in 2007 still echoes through how artists negotiate brand deals in 2025. The playbook isn't subtle, but it's teachable. And that may be 50 Cent's strangest legacy, that a career once treated as a singular anomaly turned into a case study other artists can copy.